Ah,
We're live. Hello, everyone. I'm Diane,
And I'm Cherie.
and we're
And
here today to talk about the 3 mistakes that you're doing right now that prevent sales. So we'll just wait a couple minutes for everybody to find their way here and get on. How are you today, Cherie?
I'm good. How about you, Diane?
Pretty good. Lots of snow. I'm looking out my window right now. Lots of snow.
Our snow melted, but it's kind of rainy, snowy right now. I have a feeling we're going to have wake up to white again tomorrow. So it's
Yeah.
that time of year, nice and
Yes,
cold.
it is. Yeah, nice and
Yeah.
cold. At least if
So
there's some sunshine, it's nice.
nice and cold. Yeah. Yeah. I'd rather have sun than this. I had to put extra light on me so you guys can see me because it's so dark outside.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're
So
live
I'm
right
so
now.
excited to be here.
Yeah, me too. And we're in your confident success circle, right? We're
In the Confidence Success Circle going live and in your site too.
yeah, Success by Alchemy, my business page. So
Me.
hopefully we've got people coming on, and yeah, I see some people coming on. Sharon's on. Had a couple people before saying, "How do we do this?" So this is awesome. So maybe we'll just wait another couple minutes here.
Yeah.
Leslie's on. Hi, Leslie.
Hey, great. And so don't forget if you're watching this as a replay, because it'll be up on our pages, hashtag replay if you're not live, because that'll let us know when you saw it and if you saw it. So put in the comments hashtag replay.
Good. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to this all week. Well, for a little while.
Yeah. So I love talking about sales and the mistakes that we see that people hold themselves back and really ready to own these mistakes and then bust
Mhm.
through them so that their businesses can level up. It's just so exciting.
Yeah. And I know Cherie and I have known each other for probably just over a year, a little over a year, maybe year and a half or
Well,
so. I
I
can't
was thinking we
remember.
were at the retreat, the mastermind in Palm
Oh
Desert
yeah.
in 2019,
Oh
July,
yeah. So
because
it's
that was actually the beginning of my journey.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So me too. So that was yeah. So that was pretty exciting. So just
Yeah,
over, I guess, the last couple of years, we've seen that we have similarities in what we do and how we serve our clients and the kind of things that we talk to them about, and also some of the struggles that they have. And so, of course, we're here to help people do more, be more, have breakthroughs, do whatever they can do to be their best
yeah.
selves, and really help them with their business. And Cherie, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what you do and just how amazing you are?
Well, you're amazing too.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, I've been in business. I've been doing in both sales and marketing for over 20 years, and it's actually been longer than that, but yeah, over 20 years. We'll just leave it at that. And I went from assistant to boardroom running $1 million divisions within companies brought in to really navigate and strategize and how to grow their business. And now I get to help corporate warriors who want to bust out and really live their passions. Either that is getting a promotion, or it's getting a better job, or it's doing what we do, being entrepreneurs. So I'm so excited that I get to be here with you, Diane, because I know our backgrounds are very similar, but sales and marketing is a passion and it's at the root of everything we do.
It is. Yeah, and Cherie is really amazing at what she does. And even, being in sales and marketing for so many years myself, some of our conversations, she has to remind me confidence, mindset, all the things that I know and that we teach. It's constant reminders that those are all the things that come into making us who we are and helping us be successful, and also help us be happy and be able to cope and all the stressful things that are going on in our life. It is your mindset, and it's confidence and having the courage to go through. And Cherie's awesome at all that. And so I'm happy to be here. I'm Diane Cernsich Padwin, or Padwin Cernsich. And my company is Success by Alchemy. And I've really been doing sales and marketing pretty well my entire career in all different forms, in the corporate world, doing contract work, and then really being a true entrepreneur for the last number of years. And I absolutely love what I do. I love sales. I love everything to do with sales and marketing, and which is kind of a weird statement because a lot of people, that's the thing that they really don't like. So one of the things that I help people do, especially entrepreneurs, business people, is really figure out what it is about sales or bringing revenue in or getting clients that they're having issues with, and just figuring it out and finding a way for them to really do what they love to do and have clients and business come to them, and just make it easy and make it fun and make it the way it's supposed to be, and everybody make the money that they deserve. So we're here today. When we started talking about doing this, it really was based on just some of the things that are out there. And when we started saying, okay, what are the main things that we hear from clients, and what are the mistakes that people have, either mindset or things that they're doing on a daily basis that are really preventing sales. And of course, we came up with a whole page of things, but we're going to talk today about 3. So we've got lots. We kind of, we're juggling them around and looking at the best way to serve all of you with the knowledge that we have and the clients that we've helped and results that we've been able to see. So we're here to help. If you have questions, certainly put it into the chat. I see Deb is on, and Naomi. We've got lots of people here. So if there's things that we can help you with, certainly put it in the chat. So that's what we're doing today, is talking about the mistakes. And Cherie, from your standpoint, these are pretty big mistakes, would you say, or common mistakes?
They're common mistakes. They hold people back. I'm going to tease because we're going to have another one of these in a couple weeks. There'll be 3 more mistakes, unless we come up with more, which, like Diane said, we have a whole page of them. So we're ready to go. These are common mistakes that people make, and a lot of it is common sense. A lot of it is, being in your mind and not having the confidence to move forward. I always say I'm the queen of confidence. So I'm always going to bring up confidence, that it's the baseboard it's the building block. It's what will propel you to greater success in life, in happiness, and in your career.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely right. And so we're here today to try to take you through 3 of them and just give you some ideas on what they are, how to own them, like how to recognize and own them, and then really break through and use that breaking through to move to the next level, so that it's not a mistake anymore. It's something that that you can do with confidence and ease and have fun. So the first one that comes up so often is not knowing your value. So as far as being out there in business, being an entrepreneur, pricing is such a big thing. And people, business people are always saying, I don't know what price to charge. I see what my competitors are charging. I don't know if I'm too high or too low. And there's this whole mystical thing around pricing. And when you're looking at pricing, it always comes down to, what's my service worth? And then if you look at that even a little bit deeper, it's not even really what's my service worth. It's what do I feel I'm worth? And where is my value? And when you start looking at that, that's where pricing and your value and your worth kind of, start battling with each other. So there's lots of different ways that you can come up with pricing. And, it's who you are and who your ideal client is and the value you're providing, the service that the solution that you're helping somebody with. There's all kinds of ways to do that. And when I work with clients, quite often, I say I combine a little bit of math with intuition. And what that does is really help you. Yeah, it's to figure out what you're comfortable with, but also use the math, because if you're going to be charging significantly lower than what you can afford to charge, it's a hobby. It's not really a business. So you want to make sure that you are valuing your service, your product, the way it should be valued. And the should be is really something that you personally have to come up with. So both Cherie and I have experience helping people with this sort of thing. I'll just kind of throw one example out and then hand it over to Cherie for kind of the mindset part of it. But when people say they don't know what to charge and they're not sure what to charge, I've been in groups and I was in this fairly high level mastermind group. And what was really interesting is there was a woman who wanted to use, she was looking for web developing and kind of digital transformation services. And somebody within our group offered those services. So the person within the group had their services priced around $1,000 for this package. And the woman who was looking, the businesswoman who was looking for that service, didn't use that person. And the reason she gave for not using that person was that she felt that $1,000 wasn't enough. And that this person, even though she knew that they were capable and it was the package and it would have served her well, she went with somebody who was closer to $5,000 because she thought that person probably would know her services better, would provide the expertise she needed. So it was a matter of, I want to make sure I get what I really need. And so she went with a higher priced, even though they were the same product. So this person who had the lower priced product, quite often you're saying, I need to have a lower price so people will buy me, but it actually worked opposite to what worked in her favor. So that's an example of, knowing what you're worth and knowing the value of your product. But it's also really, really, really understanding your ideal client and who is the person that's buying and what are they buying and what do they want and what are you solving for them? And there's value in that. So
yeah, it's the solve and the transformation that you give to them and being sure about that piece of it. And once you stop playing these head games with yourself.
Yeah.
It's each one of us there is no one else on this planet, just like Diane, just like me, just like any of you. We're all very unique people and very unique, unique skills, unique stories, unique everything that we bring to the table. And once you get this straight in your head and you keep reminding yourself of that you are unique, you do bring quality, you do bring that transformation, it turns your head around. It is a game changer. So you're going to hear this again and again from me today. It's recognize, rewire, and repeat. So when you start noticing, and it's working with someone like Diane, that you're charging less than your competition, or you're charging your competition, but do they have the same story that you have? Do they have the same ability that you have? because again, you're unique. So recognize when you're doing this, when you're not charging enough, and how you move out of that. And then comes the rewire. And it's a deep dive into the transformation you give and how you do that. Like you do it, there could be, I'll use myself for an example. There could be 100 confidence coaches, but nobody does it like I do it. And nobody has the unique program I have and how I move through it with my clients. So I know that to each client, it's going to be a special piece, or even to my groups, it's going to be a special piece, but they only get of me and nobody else does. And so sometimes it's not enough just to keep repeating that to yourself. Sometimes you have to put it up on a wall. I have I don't right now because I just painted my office a new color, so I don't have any.
And it's beautiful.
I don't have a lot on the walls, but I have an intention wheel. And my intention is, this is my goal. And what is all the things that support that? So my goal is to give transformation to corporate warriors who want to bust out. And I have 10 different elements that I know that this is what I deliver to my clients. It's a great little exercise. And it's something that I can always look at when I have it up on the wall to glance over and go, oh yeah, okay, I'm reminding myself this. And something else, this story came up this week for me. It was someone who helps people with their relationships, and they weren't valuing their service. They know people need help with their relationships, especially in COVID times, because we're all locked together and it's harder for people. But they didn't recognize that what would it cost that person if they didn't get that service from you? Would they get divorced? Would they lose that person in their life? Would they be miserable? I mean, you have to turn it around and look at it from the other point of view. So those are the two pieces that I really think about. What's it costing them if they don't work with you and give you that and don't get that transformation? And then what special do you bring and how can you support that? And then repeat. You have to keep telling yourself a confidence is a building block, and you build it up and build it strong. And it's constantly working on it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's true. It becomes a habit. You keep thinking of it over and over, and yeah. And Naomi was saying it's interesting, even in the comments. But Naomi said, if no one's buying, am I priced too high, or haven't found my ideal client yet? Do you just keep trying to see what flies? Trying to see what flies is a painful way to do it. Because you're kind of throwing prices out, and and like you're not sure, nobody's sure, there's a lot of confusion. But what's if you really hone in on who your ideal client is, who they are, what you're solving for them, what you're helping them with, and then what you're doing, like what do you want to achieve, what's going to get you on a Zoom call, on a phone call. You have value. Your time is valuable as well. So what are you offering, and who are you offering it to? And if you can really be clear on that, it's amazing what comes out of that. Some people will start looking at what their competitors are charging, but just like Cherie said, you're not your competitor. You're something very unique and very different. So you can look at all the coaches and consultants and gardening gurus and all the different people that are out there, caregivers, all the different people, but nobody is offering exactly what you're offering. So how can you price yourself the same as anybody else? And there's a whole thing, and I'd love to jump on a call with you to work through it, and we'll talk about that at the end. Cherie and I are both available. Yeah, Naomi's saying need to get more clarity on what my services are worth, which is absolutely right. As soon as you really pinpoint your client and what you're giving them, it creates, it creates this platform for you then to start pricing. And there's lots of tools to use to help do the pricing part of it. But a lot of it is the mindset thing. Think about the things that Cherie said, and mindset, your inner game, how you're valuing yourself, your worth, and that sort of thing. So that's pricing.
Yeah. And the inner game is huge. And
yeah, it is.
That's pricing.
Okay.
So there's a lot we could talk about. We could spend this whole half an hour talking about pricing.
Yeah. But that's probably one of the biggest mistakes, that people are just not sure how to price, what to price, put out different prices, constantly up and down, confused about it. And that really does prevent sales from coming in. Because, ideal clients and the money flowing to you comes when there's clarity. So when you have clarity, then money will follow, clients follow, all of that will follow.
And you have intention. When you're putting the money out there, you have intention of what that is going to bring to those people. And that is key.
Yeah, that's a big thing as well. Yeah. Just like your intention for the service you're providing.
Yeah. So do we want to move on to number 2?
Yes. Yeah, let's do number 2.
Oh, okay. So biggest mistake, they'll buy, they'll figure out a way to buy if they really want it. I don't need to ask them. So this is all about no call to action. CTA. I always, in the back of my mind, it's, what is that CTA? You have to ask for the business. You have to ask people to take action in anything you do. You're not going to have, I'll use an example in my life from my girlfriend the other day. She was frustrated with her kids because they weren't their adult kids living at home, weren't picking up after themselves. But she realizes she's never asked them. She's never had a call to action to say, she just expects them to do it. They're not going to. So Diane, you want to tackle this one?
Yeah, and I think that's another one that I see so often with clients. And it's interesting because the people who don't like to ask for the business also don't put it in their marketing materials or on their website or on their Facebook page. They're missing all these links for people to be able to just click and be able to either buy or connect with you. So when I'm looking at websites, there's a whole behavior and personality style that you can get into about call to action or asking to buy from both the buyer and the seller standpoint. But if I'm a buyer and I've been drawn to somebody's website or referred to a website, the last thing I want to do is to have to scroll all the way down and keep scrolling and reading and scrolling and seeing all these different things before there's a button that I can click on to ask a question or to book an appointment or to buy or even to buy. So a lot of frustration comes in from buyer standpoint when there's not an easy way to buy from you. And what's interesting is, you don't want to be pushy. Nobody wants to be pushy. Nobody wants to be salesy. There's a lot of fear around, I don't want to ask for the money. I don't want to make that part of my offer. I just want to be able to help people and not have to ask for the money. But, a really kind of an example that I use quite often is, you spend all your time and you've informed this person and told them all about your business and told them the amazing results. And if you don't say anything to them and they don't ask, there's a couple things that can happen there. They can think, why aren't they asking me if I want to do business with them? Do they not want to do business with me? Am I not the right person? Is there something wrong with me? Like that's the buyer asking those questions. And you, as the seller, the person who has the business, are saying, well, if they really want it, they're just going to buy it. But that's not always the case. And what often happens is that person that buyer goes, and then the next person that they meet that is similar to you, of course they're not the same, but maybe they have the same service, they buy right away. And they buy right away because that person asked them to buy. And if you had asked, they would have bought. They may have asked you a couple questions, but they would have bought. And a scenario that I use quite often is there's when I was working in the corporate world, I would follow up with business that we didn't get, just to see what happened with the representatives and why we didn't get that business. And it was interesting how many times I heard from our clients or potential clients that they would say, I went with the person who called me back. I went with the person who asked me for the business. Because if they're asking me for the business, my business is valuable to them. And I know that if I have a problem, they're going to be there for me. So it's a win-win. I want to know that my client is interested in doing business with me, but they need to know that I value that business. And how do they know if I don't ask you for your business? If I don't say, I'd love to work with you, does this make sense? You know, it sounds like we're a fit. There's all kinds of words that you can use that make sense to you and feel good to you. But the biggest thing is to ask. And I know I was talking to Sheree a little bit about this, and the other example I used is, you know, people spend all this time marketing and setting up their product or service, and it looks beautiful, and it's, you know, it's like going into a beautiful market and having all these displays, but there's no cash register. So you can't buy. You want these things, and there's no one there saying, do you want those items? Let me take it for you. Let me help you. So that's my spiel on the ask. Yeah, I feel like that's something that people really have an issue asking for the business, and they feel like if a customer really wants it, they'll ask, and it just doesn't happen that way. As the business owner, it really is, the onus is on you to let people know that you want their business and that you can help them solve their problem, transform, whatever it is. Anything more on?
You can do it without being salesy. Like Diane said, there's some really easy terms, you know, I feel like there's a fit here. I know I can help you. Do you want to move forward? There, you don't have to be pushy and salesy. I've never been salesy in my life, and I always hated when I was young and going through training that they would make you have that hard close and that car dealership close, and that's not who I am. In fact, my car dealership, I just bought a car. They weren't that way anymore either. So the world is transforming. You use sales in everything you do, even if you're negotiating, negotiating what's for dinner, and your partner says, you know, you want something, and they're not really sold on it. You have to describe it and give them the essence of it, and convince them, being salesy, to come over to your side, and so you can have that for dinner. So we all use sales, but I'm going to say that part of not wanting to put that roadblock up about sales is a fear of rejection, because they could always say no.
Yeah.
And part of it's not being overly bought into that. It's not rejection of you. It's just not the right time for them at this point. It's not, but it can lead to a lot of self-doubt and self-talk in your head. And I call it the tongue-tied self-doubt death grip. It just wraps around and says, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I'm not worthy of doing this. And it's all fear. What this is fear. And I'm not talking, you know, fear holds so many people back. I hear over and over from potential clients. I said, why aren't you going for your dreams? Why aren't you doing what you want to do? Because I'm afraid of failing. I'm afraid that I won't make it. And by not even trying, you're already failing.
Yeah.
Failing feeds our soul, or failure is, it doesn't let your soul grow, because we have to have some failures. You learn from those failures to move forward. So recognizing your fears, and I'm really big on journaling. So making sure that you're putting down what your fear is, and then do a plus minus. Is this rational? Is this a rational fear? What if you don't, what if you don't fail? Okay, what is all going to happen if you don't fail? What if you do fail? What's going to happen? So by doing that, you're recognizing what's going on. You're changing the self-talk. You're rewiring your brain, and then you have to take action. You have to take courageous action to get over that fear. And you're not going to do it all at once. You're going to chip away day by day. I know Diane and I, we're very successful business women, but there are still days that we have fear, and there are things out there that cause us go, oh, I have to do that, and
Yeah.
but we don't hold ourselves back, and make sure that when you do something, you give yourself that pat on the back. That that's the way to do it. You
Yeah.
did it. How do you feel? Look at how you feel. And then repeat. So keep repeating. You have to put fear ahead. If anyone wants a terrific book about fear and holding yourself back, I'm almost done with this book, and it's going to break my heart when I'm done. It's The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. I've really enjoyed that book, and it's awesome. And it's all about her fears. She always said no because she was scared. And it's how to get past that. And you have to say yes to yourself.
Yeah. And yeah, and it's interesting in the comments. It's easy to ask about a product that's not yours, or both of us were in the corporate world, and working for corporate, you've got this big corporation that you're representing. But when it's your business, it's you, and exactly what you said. It's rejection of you personally, and that's how a lot of people take it. You can start to look at it differently and separate yourself from, it's not you. It's exactly what you said. They might not be ready right now. There might be money issues that they say no, and maybe talking to them a little bit more, you find out the reasons why. And it's usually not what you think. They're not rejecting you. There's things that are going on that just don't line up at this moment in time. So, and it's looking at it as you're offering something that is of value, and it's their decision. And their decision is being made based on the product or the service that you're providing. It's not based on you as a person. And when you separate that out, it becomes easier, but it's taking the step every day to try it, do a little bit more, ask a little bit more. Yeah, it gets easier. It gets easier. And there's lots of strategies and tips and tricks that can help you as well. Yeah, there's lots of different ways that have worked for us and for our clients and for everybody out there, because you're not alone. If this is how you feel, obviously we've picked the most common mistakes, the most common things that people do. And this is right up there in our top 3. So it's very common. But the nice thing is that we know it can be overcome. So
yes, it can.
Yeah, lots of good strategies out there. Okay, so we're ready to move on. We'll do number 3. This one is so interesting, because I know we both work with not only corporate, but also a lot of heart-centered business people. And the mistake that's preventing sales is the concept or the mindset that money wrecks my vibe. It's just wrecking the vibe of the service that I'm providing. So, you have this
Dirty,
beautiful,
evil money.
yeah, dirty, evil money. That's right. Like, why would I bring that into my beautiful, heart-centered service of a business? And then I have to inject money. So, right off the top, you can say that's a money mindset issue, right? Like, so,
Yeah.
is it money? Is it the sales? Is it like, what is it? So we can deep dive into the reasons that you have that feeling about money. But basically, it comes down to a couple different things. Like, for when I work with people on sales, quite often they'll say, I just hate sales. I don't want to be salesy. But sales to me is actually making an offer and telling people about your product. So if I told you the things that I do with my clients and how I help them, and the great transformation and the results in their business, I'm selling you on what I do, my service. That's the sales part of it to me. The money part is the transaction of how we do business together. So
Yeah.
the money isn't influencing anything. The money is a transaction. And that transaction is either easy or difficult for the person, or, there's we
Yeah.
talked about pricing issues and all that kind of thing. And what comes into play a lot is guilt, and the evilness of money, and being worthy of getting payment for your services. And I know, Cherie, you do a lot of work with limiting beliefs around worthiness, a have level. I don't know if anybody's heard of have level, like what you're willing to receive in your life, and at what level you'll receive. So do you want to talk a little bit about limiting beliefs around money and payments for your services, worthiness?
Yeah. Yeah. So those are limiting beliefs, and it's easy for me to say, just get over it. But you really have to recognize that these are limiting beliefs and going to hold you back. You can find solutions. If there's someone that you really want to help, and they truly can't afford your business, you can offer that as charity, but you can't run a business on charity. So there are ways around it. So recognize what's holding you back. Again, write it down. Make sure that you're aware of those and keep it in front of you. And what are people write these down, but what are the underlying reasons for this? And it could be that you have some issues with money and you do think money is dirty and evil. But you're not in business to starve to death. You're in business to make a living so you can do and offer this service to more people. It gets back to what we talked about in knowing your value, is that your worthiness and your uniqueness. And then rewire, to play off what we titled this as get a new vibe. Start telling yourself, okay, I'm going to help two people this year based on two people this year based on need, and then I'm going to get some paying clients so I can give that service to those people. There are ways around this and to work this in, but it really comes down to your self-limiting beliefs. And we have a mutual friend that we were helping her with this because she wanted to give her services away. So many people needed her service, and they do. She's awesome. But she also needs to make a living. She needs to support her family. And so she could give away some at below her price, one below her price, I should say, and everything else was at full price. And her books blew up. She is full to the gills with clients.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's part of it. Yeah, exactly what you're saying is, there's so many people out there who need all the things that we're doing. So each and every one of you that are listening in have a business or a service that people need. And a lot of people really, really need it. And like you were talking about the relationship person, and, there's like therapists and all the people who absolutely critically need your service or really want it. But again, it comes down to business or hobby. Everybody can do it free, or you can do it as a business. And if you do it as a business and put value on it, you're solving people's problems. You're creating an opportunity for them to get out of this pain that they're in, to level up their business, to find a way to do something that's going to make them really happy. And for that, they are willing to pay. People are willing to pay. You were willing to pay for a car. I'm willing to pay for somebody to shovel my driveway with all the snow. Like there's people who are willing to pay for all these services. So if you're not finding people who are willing to pay for your services, then maybe you're not talking to your ideal client. But also it's what you're projecting as well. Just exactly what you said, your mindset. If you believe
definitely.
If you believe you're worth $20 an hour, then those are the clients that you're going to get. If you believe you're worth $100 or $200, $300 an hour or more, then those are the people that you're going to attract as well. And there are people that will pay, and we all know that. That's, I guess, that one a client talked about her business, and she's been struggling about what to charge. And it's the whole, I just don't want to ask for money, because hers is, a spiritual kind of service. And, but she will refer people. She'll refer some of her clients to other people. And those other people are charging, $300, $400, $500 an hour. And she won't charge anywhere near that. But her actual clients are being referred by her to other people for other services, and those clients are paying. So it's in here. It's more in
it's all here
than anything else. And it's inner game. I talk to people about something I call sales money, because sales money is different than other money. Sales money is what you receive for the offers that you made. And people don't have a problem with money, spending money, giving money, doing all that sort of thing, asking for money for, if I was buying you flowers and we were all going in on it, I would ask people to pitch in, and they would do that. But sales money is different, because sales money is money that somebody's paying me directly for my services. So it is a mindset thing kind of around that. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, definitely. So should we tell everyone how to get a hold of us? I think you put it in the chat. Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't put it in the chat yet. I will right now. I just put 3 mistakes that we covered today. Just, not knowing. Perfect. Not knowing your value, and that's all around pricing. And then, if they'll buy it, they will buy it if they want it. I don't need to ask. And the third is money wrecks the vibe. So we would certainly love to talk to you guys about any of these or any others that have come up for you as we're talking about these. And both Cherie and I have, we're offering a free session to, you can book a free session to talk about any of these mistakes. Or if there's something else that's blocking you, or you feel you need some help with anything, you can go to the website that I just put on the chat there, and we're happy to help. Yeah, and
we are also. Oh, go ahead, Diane.
Yeah, so Cherie's is Confident Warriors is her website, and her free session is called Quantum Leap. Because she really helps people take a quantum leap. So, again, identifying it and getting you to the next level. So, anything that you want to talk about, we're here. And then mine is Success by Alchemy, and it's a free discovery session. So we're more than happy to have you jump on for a free session and have a little chat and see where we can help you.
And we hope to see you. We're doing this again at this time. I think we've got to confirm that, but you'll see in the Facebook Lives that we're doing it in 2 weeks. So
In a couple of
can't
weeks, yeah.
wait to have you guys back. Yeah, in a couple weeks. So have you guys back, and we'll see you here. So thank you everyone for joining. It's been great.
Yeah, thanks everybody and for your comments. And yeah, and if you have any ideas or you have some other mistakes that you commonly make and you want us to talk a little bit about, certainly put them in the chat, or you can reach us on our Facebook pages. We're more than happy to help, and we'll answer any questions that you have. So thanks for joining us. Thanks, Cherie. As always, you're awesome.
Thank you. Good.
Okay.
So are you. I can't wait.
Okay. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.